Hi everyone, welcome back to Catherine's Plates, where it's always simple, easy, and delicious in my kitchen. Today I'm going to show you how to make Philly cheesesteak egg rolls. These are so easy, you guys, so fun to eat. So if you're ready, let's go ahead and put these together. You're going to need 1 to 1.5 pounds of ground beef. Got salt, some pepper, bell peppers, yellow onions. Now I've got some butter over here, some oil, Worcestershire, or Worcestershire, however you like to say it. And then I have these egg roll skins, is what they're called. And they look like this right here. So you're just gonna need those, anywhere from 12 to 24 pieces of these. Now these are the large ones, they're not the really small ones, okay? So make sure you get the large ones. That will hold your filling really good. First thing we're going to do is get our vegetables ready. Now I'm using green bell peppers and yellow onions, and if you want to use mushrooms, you can certainly use those also, but I don't really care for mushrooms, so they're not going to go into this dish today. So I'm just taking 2 yellow onions. I'm just going to cut off the ends and cut off the outer layer of the skin. Now you want to chop these very fine, so we're looking for a very small dice. We don't want these in the way of rolling up our egg rolls. All right, put this in here. Let me show you how I dice up an onion really quickly. So you want to cut your onion in half. Now working with each half, I'm going to take my knife and go 3/4 of the way through the onion in very thin slices. I'm going to prop my onion on its side. I'm going to take my knife, I'm going to go 3/4 of the way through the onion 2 times, almost to the end. And I'm going to do that one more time. All right, we're going to lay it flat. I'm going to take my knife and I'm just going to run it through into tiny little pieces, just like that. So you can do 1 full onion, you can do 1.5 onions, or you can even do the 2 onions. It depends on how much you want in your egg rolls. With my bell peppers, now I've already washed these and dried these off. I'm just going to cut all the way around the whole pepper along the sides. And then you're just left with that. All right, I'm going to cut my pepper into very thin slices. We want the peppers to be the same size as the onions. And then I'm just going to take them and cut them very, very small pieces. I think that's what I'm going to do right there. That was 1 large bell pepper and 1.5 yellow onions, about medium size. Over medium-high heat, I'm going to place a large skillet. I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of butter. And start melting that down with 1 tablespoon of cooking oil. I'm going to bring this to a sizzle, and then we're going to start adding our diced green bell peppers and yellow onion. Ooh, I love that sizzle sound. And you know, when you start cooking onions and peppers, they just smell amazing. Good things are going to happen in your kitchen when people smell that. Nice sizzle. All right, we're going to start softening these down. I'm going to add a little pinch of some salt just to flavor our peppers and onions. And some black pepper. I love black pepper in a Philly cheesesteak. We're going to cook this down for 3 minutes till it's nice and softened. Go ahead and add 1.5 pounds of ground beef. Now I'm not using my meat chopper today because I want to keep the meat kind of chunky, not like little tiny pieces, okay? So I'm just going to kind of break it down a little bit, kind of mix it into the peppers and onions. We're going to flatten the ground beef and let it get kind of crispy on the bottom side here. So I'm going to flatten it down, let it cook for just a few minutes, because that's kind of reminiscent of a Philly cheesesteak when you're using the steak. So with the ground beef, we're going to kind of give it that. Okay, I'm going to start flipping it over in big chunks. Oh, you hear that? Yes. We want those crispy bits because they're going to remind us of like steak. You know how it's nice and charred, nice and crispy. Flip it over. And then when you flip it over, smash it down again. Now I've done this before when I've made Philly cheesesteak sloppy joes. It was so good. We're going to cook it on this side for just a few minutes till it gets nice and browned with some bits on it. Just about 2 minutes. Alright, we're going to start flipping it over and then breaking it up and then finish cooking the meat until it's no longer pink. Now you can at this time kind of break it up more. Now you can totally skip that step and just brown your ground beef if you want to do that. It's all preference. Alright, what I'm going to do is try to dry out my ground beef a little bit by taking some of that oil out of the pan here. And all you need to do is just push your meat off to the side. I like to roll up some paper towels, just place it in there to saturate any of that excess grease, because you don't want those in your egg rolls before we make them, because they'll become really wet and we don't want that. Don't worry, all the flavor is still in the meat and the peppers and the onions. That looks good. We're going to add 1 tablespoon of some Worcestershire for some flavor. What we're going to do is season again with some salt, because if we got all that ground beef in there, we need to season it. Some salt and some black pepper. Just give that a mix. We're going to turn off the burner. We want to cool this down a little bit. Alright, let's talk about cheese before we start building these. Now you want to use any kind of white cheese, or you can use Velveeta cheese. Anything that you can cut into a strip form. Anything you have in your refrigerator. Now this is just a Swiss cheese that I'm going to be using here. Now you want a small little cup of water. That'll help seal these. And then here's my wrappers. Now you want to lay it on your clean work surface like a diamond shape. Make sure you put some cheese right in the center of the diamond. This is just half the cheese. The other half of the cheese is going to go on top, and I'll show you here in just a minute. I'm using 1/8 measuring cup, and I'm just going to fill it up with the meat mixture here. Don't be shy. And put that right on top of the cheese. Keeping it all in the center, much as possible. Take some more cheese. Whoops. Lay that on top of the meat. You want to take the tip that's closest to you. Pull it over your meat mixture. Tuck it in. Now while you're doing that, we're going to bring the sides in to meet into the center there, like that. And then we're going to keep rolling while we're pulling in the sides. Now you got a little tip left right here at the top. We're just going to take a little bit of the water with our finger. Dab it onto the tip there. And then roll this. And there we go. And there's your egg roll. Now I'm just laying these on a wire rack, and it's just on a sheet pan with some foil underneath just to kind of keep it clean. And so I already got one made there. This is the one I just made. we'll just prop them on there right now before we fry them up. Now I find that 1/8 of a cup is the perfect amount to put on there so you don't rip these or there's not enough on there, okay? Because you want to make sure there's enough filling inside of these. All right, I've got my oil preheating over here. Now I've got about 4 to 5 cups of vegetable oil, or you can use canola oil. You want to heat it to a medium-high heat, 350 degrees, whichever way you have it. Now I'm just using a thermometer and I'm just going to test my oil here. Now as I place these in and fry them up, they're going to go back into their same spot on here because we want them nice and crispy and crunchy when we pull them out like an egg roll. You can also take the back end of a wooden spoon, put it to the bottom of the pan, and if it starts sizzling, and it should sizzle fast, like you can see right here, that is what you're looking for. If you don't have a thermometer, then you can do that right here. That's perfect. Now our egg rolls have been sitting for just a little bit, which is great because they kind of dried out just a little bit and all nice and formed. So we're going to go ahead and place about 4 or 5 of them in the hot oil here, just using my tongs. Be very careful. Start to the back of the pan here. Don't overcrowd your pan. And we want these nice and golden brown all around the whole egg roll. We're going to let them cook for just a little bit, and then we're going to start rotating them. Make sure you stay with these, you guys. Don't walk away from that oil at all. Alright, there we go. Nice and crispy and golden brown. So we're going to start flipping them. Oh yeah. Nice. Nice. Ooh, that one cooked faster. There we go. Give them another minute, minute and a half, and then we're going to pull these out. Oh yeah. Nice. Just put that right there. Oh, look how beautiful those are. Awesome. Make sure y'all check out my recipe blog, katherinesplates.com, for more ideas for Philly cheesesteak. And I actually have a recipe out there, or a video, not sure which one, but I'll link it down below in the description box, for pork egg rolls. Gosh, they are so delicious. So you can check those out. And in my recipe blog, you can also find my cookbooks, Volume 1 and Volume 2. Now, if you have those two, I do have a Volume 3 in the works right now, so stay tuned for that one, you guys. I love this Volume 3 cookbook coming because it's going to have holiday recipes in the back of the book, so it's going to be really nice. All right, look at this beauty. Nice and golden brown all the way around. Got my knife. I want to cut into it for you. Oh, do you hear that crunch? Doesn't that look like a Philly cheesesteak? I'm ready to take a bite for you guys. Look at these. That's very delicious. Somebody says I could quit saying delicious. That is very scrumptious. Scrumptious for sure. Cheesy, that ground beef, the peppers and onions, the flavorings. Y'all need to make some. Make sure you comment down below. Give me a thumbs up on these, you guys. And if you're new to my channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below and that bell notification. That way you'll always know when shows like this one here are posted, and there are plenty of them out there. I have like over 800 videos, so go check them out. That'll take a few days. All right, I have a recipe blog, katherinesplates.com, where you can find all of my recipes and my cookbooks. Okay, guys, I will see you on my next episode. Cheese pull.